So what we're going to do now is look at some different one light techniques. We're going to look at beauty lighting, direct lighting, non-standard styles. So we want to look at underlighting, we want to look at one light strip lighting, simulated window lighting. We're also going to look at a white wall shot. So let's go and have a look and see how we set all up and how we do these particular setups and how the images come out. So this is called an underlighting shot. So let me show you what that looks like in the actual studio. So what we've got here is one light underlighting. Now you'll often see this in fashion photography. It lights up the clothes and the face as well. It's quite dramatic because a lot of the light falls on the subject. It's an unnatural lighting position because it's coming from underneath and we're not used to looking at lighting in that sense, but it's quite dramatic. You will also see I've got a flag over here, and the reason I've got this large flag is because I want to accentuate more of the shadow in the other side of the subject. So when we have that there, you can see I've got the flag. If I turn that off, you can see that it lights up the subject a little bit more, and then by having it off, tiny bit more light on, a little bit more drama around the neck and around the edges. So that's a very simple lighting setup, very good if you're trying to do fashion shoots or anything like that. You want to create a little bit of drama, a little bit of interest, and you're just using one light. You can do this with a studio strobe. You can also do all these techniques with speed lights, but as we recommend in our portrait lighting course, where we use just speed lights to show people how to do lighting on a budget, you might have to take your ISO up to compensate when using speed lights rather than studio strobes, because you're not going to have the same power. Now here's a slightly different look. This is a one light and we're using a strip light to create a lot of drama. And with this one, we've put a really nice shadow on the background as well because of strip light's natural properties. So strip light can give you some really, really interesting looks. So let's just have a look at the stage and see what we've got. So as you can see, we've got a very thin, large strip light on the subject, 45 degrees. And we've also then, it's over 45 degrees. This one's probably about 55 degrees. The subject's looking into the light again, and now we've got our blocker there just to put a bit more shadow back in the other side. So what we then get with that is we do get quite a very strong, dramatic look. Now what we want to have a look at here is what we call a standard window light technique. So we want to create standard window light, we want to simulate window light. So as you can see, we're shooting this in a 2/3 view. We're only using one light and we're creating quite a nice dramatic look. How are we doing that? So what we've got is we've got a large softbox quite close. So we're getting some nice wrap and we're simulating a window. And that's how we're getting that light. And you'll notice on this, I've broken my rule of having the light above and pointing down. With this one, I want it quite straight because I'm literally simulating a window, and a window is not slanted, a window is straight. Now what I want to show you is a slight variation on this, which I think you're going to find quite interesting. So that's a standard window light. Now, this is a creative window light, and we've wrapped the light around the face a lot more. It's a lot softer, it's a lot less dramatic, it's more beauty shot orientated. What did we do differently? Let's just return to the stage. Still got the one light in the same place, but watch this. We now have the light in front of the subject. That means that this light is going to wrap around a lot more on this side of the face and create a much softer light. So by just moving the light forward or moving the model back a little bit, we can create some very, very interesting light. And that's a top tip as well if you're doing natural light photography and you've got a window just changing to position like that can create a completely different look. Now we've got a full face window shot. It's a lot more wrap now, it's a lot more soft, and let's have a look at how we set that up. So this one was, we just now moved the light around, so now our subject much more closer to a 45-degree angle, and our subject looking into the light, and we're getting a lovely wrap all the way around the face. And that's the effect we get there. So let me just go back and review those quickly. So that was our first standard window light. Then we moved the softbox forward and got more wrap. And we also created a lot more shadow on the background because the softbox was pushing the light past the background. So we got this nice shadow. And then we brought it all the way around. We've got an even light, but we've got light on the subject as well. Now this is a standard. You're going to see this a lot in magazines, this particular shot, and if you're wondering how they do it, let me just show you. This is a white panel on a white wall, and all we've done is we've brought a beauty dish in. We're focusing the beauty dish on her face, on the bridge of her nose. Let me just show you that so you can see how that works. So what we want to do is we want to put the beauty dish aimed at the center of her nose like that. And now we've got a very strong effect. And that is a pretty standard one light beauty shot on a white background. Now I'm not convinced the software is actually generating the shadow that well on this. I'd expect the shadow to be a little bit softer. But that is essentially a one light beauty shot on a white background, and you'll see this so much in the fashion magazines and on the billboards in shops and on the posters as you go through a shop. You're going to see this type of lighting quite a lot. Model against the background, one beauty light coming down, accentuating the eyes and the cheeks here, and then the light falling off and dropping off. So let's just go back and review all the one light techniques we did. This was the underlighting technique, very dramatic. We switched to a strip box, again a lot of drama, but the lighting was even from top to bottom. Then we had our standard window light with a large softbox. Then we moved it forward, got a bit more wrap, and then we moved it around even more and got more light onto the background. And then we finished off with a simple one light hard fashion shot. And when I say hard fashion shot, what it means is that's a hard light source, and we've got this particular look. If we wanted to soften that a little bit, we'd probably just do a big softbox. So here's the same image with a softbox as a comparison where the shadow's been softened a little bit, and you can see it's not as dramatic, it's not as powerful. So if we just have a look at that, what we've done, we've just placed a large softbox at this angle to the subject, but it doesn't work quite as well as the hard light version.